Today we have a very exciting disc review video, one that I didn't know anything about until like a week or a week and a half ago. Saw a YouTube short that they were releasing this disc, that Discmania was releasing this, and had to get it immediately. It's the Nicholas Anttila Creator Series drop, and for those of you that don't know, the Creator Series means that the player is involved in some way or another in designing the disc. So it seems like Nicholas wanted to have a zone in his bag, and the tactic just wasn't doing it for him. And for those of you that know me and have watched my In the Bag videos, I bag a zone, and you'll also know that I love Discmania's C-Line plastic. So you have to imagine how excited I am when I see that Discmania is releasing what is essentially a C-Line zone. Now, I don't know if the flight's going to be exactly the same. It's kind of what we're going to be trying out here today. I'm playing some of the short tees here at Chili. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I've been playing a little too much at Shadow Pines recently. Should have enough holes here where we can test out the drop, although I haven't played the shorts all that much. Now, I don't have my zone with me. Normally, I would pair this up with the zone and compare them, but instead what I'm going to do, because I'm kind of looking for some changes in my overstable approach game, I'm going to compare it to a baseline tactic. I have a EXO soft tactic here, pretty similar to the EXO hard. I just kind of like the feel of it better, and I've heard it beats in a little bit slower. I have a feeling that with this sort of less glidey but similar flight number disc and a base plastic for like more of a point and shoot straight disc, and then the drop as that kind of zone type disc, it's more overstable, kind of better off the tee, glides a little bit further. These could be really good complements to each other, so we will be able to compare them. Also with the two that I got, we have this purple one and this clear, I guess white, whatever. They're both glow. This white one is really flat, pretty flat, and the purple one just has like the tiniest bit of dome. I wouldn't even call it dome. It's just, I think the white one's like ever so slightly more flat, so they might have a little bit different of flight, but we'll see. If this disc flies anything like a zone, pretty good chance I'm gonna end up bagging it because it feels so good. Like, just like any C-Line plastic, it feels fantastic in my hand. It's what I've always wanted from a zone. A lot of the times I feel, you know, like a buzz or a zone in that Z plastic, and I feel it, and it's just kind of like more of a slick, I don't know, like it doesn't feel like I get a real good grip on it. And man, this C-Line plastic just feels so good in my hands. It feels like I'm gonna get the perfect release every single time. So without further ado, let's throw a couple of these discs. I'll throw the tactic on a couple shots, but really the video is about the drop. We'll start off with the clear glow, and then we'll throw the purple. Just got a little hyzer here. No warm up. We're just gonna see how it flies. Oh, that was pretty good. Seemed like pretty stable. I think it flew almost exactly as I expected. Just needed to give it a bit more height and not hit that little bush right there. Let's go purple now. That should be perfect. Still tickled, but that should be parked. And let's just throw the tactic on this one, get a little comparison. I know it's just a hyzer, so it's probably gonna be pretty similar. We'll see if that difference in glide by 1 is significant or not. I think I threw that higher, but it's very similar. It definitely feels, I guess, a little bit more dumpy, but I think it'll beat in to be straighter, but not fly as far. We'll see. You know, I threw the tactic probably a little bit higher, and it came in a little shorter, drops right there. They're pretty much right next to each other though, so flight already seems pretty similar on just a pure hyzer. Not bad at all. I feel like this disc comes at a time that is just so perfect for me because like I used to be able to throw my Toros so well. I could pick a point just left of the basket on a forehand, throw it kind of a nice soft flat at it, knowing it's gonna fade out right at the end, and I'd just sit right under the pin. And lately I've just been pulling them left, kind of sawing them off a little bit. I don't know what it is, but I just have not been throwing my Toro that great lately. I've been throwing the zone a little bit, but it's just like not my favorite disc. It's a good disc, but I never feel like I'm like 100% with it. And I really feel like this could be, you know, it's not gonna be that different, but just the different feel, the new sort of new disc in the bag feel that you get might give me that little bit of excitement to feel a bit more confident about these throws. So just those first couple throws after the adjustment on the height off that first throw, like I feel like I'm already throwing this thing pretty well and it feels really nice. Right here, we got the next hole actually. I feel like it's a pretty good lineup for just a straight pushing forehand that fades out to the right a little bit. Got a little bit of a gap hit, a little bit of a ceiling. So we should be able to see how these fly pretty well. I think it's about 250, so right in that range where you want to be throwing this disc. Really just don't want to throw it in the tree on the left. A little bit of flutter, that's on me. But that is about 10 feet. See if we can get a little cleaner of a release. Maybe push it on a hyzer a bit more. It probably turned over with the flutter. That's better, but way inside, hitting the fence. And we'll do one more throw with the tactic to see how it is. My sort of theory, you know, I don't think I'm throwing the tactic off the tee, especially with how much deeper it is. I like the shallow profile of the drop. And of course, you know, the zone, I think it has that. If you look on the PDGA website where they have the approval of the disc, the measurements seem weird because they're pretty much the same, I think, for the zone and the drop, but like the height is listed as like, I think like almost half a centimeter off, but they're definitely like almost the same height. But the tactic is like a bit of a thicker rim depth, where the drop is a lot more shallow, which I like for that release on the forehand. But the tactic, I think once you beat it in this base plastic, will be really nice. Yeah, just like pretty much same stability, just dumps out earlier. That's pretty much what I'm getting from that. I think it's just the deeper rim. I'm hoping I can beat it up though and make it into a nice straight flyer. All right, drop number 2 coming in just a little short on circle's edge here, but really not bad at all, just a little low on too much hyzer. Oh, I'll give it another. Hey, I'll take it. Can't really see me, but this one's parked. So not the cleanest throw with the flutter, but ooh, very, very good flight. I think we've had enough of the tactic here. I thought it would be a bit more straight, kind of out of the box as a compliment, but it really is just like, without being beat up, it's just a dumpier version of the drop, it seems. But the drop does seem to fly a lot like the zone. Look out for my in the bag at the start of next season. Maybe I can figure this out. I'm definitely making some changes in this department because they haven't been working for me lately. I don't know if it's like form changes or something, but I just haven't been throwing them well. Good chance I'm adding this to the bag if it keeps flying as nice as it is. We'll see if the tactic thing works out, but let me know if you have any, you know, if I'm putting the drop in my bag, what's a good, slightly less stable variant? Should I beat up a tactic? Should I put one of my old Toros in there? We're just gonna give it a spike hyzer here. See if it like slams out, spikes into the ground, or if it kind of fades out a little bit. If we're gonna, you know, get left or right of the basket. But I'm just gonna give it a nice steep angle here. Oh, that glides out pretty nice. Well, at least until I throw it into the tree. All right, I think a little less power on that. Yeah, I threw it into the tree a little long. That feels right. Oh, still hit a branch. Seems like it wants to glide out, like it doesn't just dump out. Kind of gets that nice little overstable glide, but it's not like I'm throwing like a deflector or something, you know? Yeah, it looks like these both just got caught up a little bit. Ended up edge of circle. There's like this tree on the right, this tree on the left. Kind of got to make it through this gap. So I think one more shot and I would have adjusted well enough. I was like long, then short. See, we'll give this a stepper since we're outside the circle. My step putts have been so bad lately. Either low or just nowhere near the basket. I'm never like, I used to have such a good step putt earlier in the season. It hasn't been as good lately. Okay, I'm gonna do something maybe a little unconventional here. I wanna test out sort of like what kind of distance we can get full power on these. So I'm gonna play the longs on hole 6 here and see if I can get a par. I mean, I guess I could technically get a birdie. I think it's probably unlikely. So we got kind of pushing out straight and then straight left after we get through this gap. It says the hole is 490, but it is a dog leg, so you're kind of playing it in 2 parts. So typically I'd throw like a Draco and then probably something similar to a drop on the upshot. Got a little bit of a headwind, so I'm just gonna hit these hard and flat, get them pushing, see if I can get around the bend to a good spot, and kind of just test the distance on them a little bit, especially into some wind. Probably not gonna be trying to throw them very far super often, but you never know. You know, sometimes you want to just throw a 320-foot shot on like a backhand hyzer with this, or even like more out to like 350, it can be useful. And just to kind of see how it handles a little bit of power. Yeah. I actually pushed really far. I thought it was gonna have some hard time getting around the left. I think I pushed too far forward. Let's put it on some hyzer. I think the distance is certainly there. Let's see if we can put it in a really good spot and try to get a birdie with this purple one. Should be better. Yeah, it's in the middle of the fairway, just shorter than, you know, you'd normally get on this hole. This first one pushed a little too long to have any sort of look, kind of in the tall grass over here. But honestly, like, this is not too bad. A lot of the times you might hit these branches on my left, or right, I guess, and fall into the middle of the fairway on a normal drive. So this isn't even that bad. You can definitely get up and down from here. So we're gonna just play this one, see if we can go over the top for a birdie. Little bit pinched, for sure, but certainly manageable. Try and flex a little bit and get it to just fade back. Oh. All right, one more try. I pulled it a little bit. One more try. Found a gap. I think that's actually really good. I found the worst gap ever though. I can't believe this made it all the way to the basket. Nice little doubles birdie here. Player 2 getting all the action. You got player 1 and player 2 to make a putt here though. Oh, come on, player 2. Well, the drop certainly handles torque perfectly well. Those came out of my hand with no flutter. Flew exactly how you want them to. Got some pretty good distance on them too. Let's do a little, I think I'm just gonna go forehand up the gut with both of these. Try to fade back, get a little right side 15-footer. Try and get a little turn out of them actually. Kind of try and flex a little bit and then fade out like right by that tree on the left. Maybe try and park it a little bit. See if I can get a little turn without too much flutter. That was just absolutely awful. And it's not the disc, that is me. A little bit better of a flex line here. I'm gonna follow through like I know what I'm doing. There we go. That's like an ace run too. Not too bad. Now why don't we try and get a little stepper on camera here, huh? A bad shot is just an opportunity for a good putt. Yeah, that's just so rude, dude. That's one rude basket. This one was great though. Got the flex line nice. This one better go in. You can click off the video now, just pretend you didn't see that. You know, lately I've been going the over the top spike hyzer route on this hole, now that the branch that was in the way is gone. But let's see if I can lace a little shot here, right up this tiny little gap. I'm gonna go one forehand, pushing straight, trying to come back, and then one backhand flex through, and then try and come back on the left. See if I can execute either one of these at all. And you'll see exactly why I don't throw this shot very often. Okay, we'll do the backhand now. There we go. And I am 50 long. We're gonna forget about that putt from 30 seconds ago, and we're gonna forget about this hole too and just move on. Okay, gonna play hole 12 longs here, just because I have thrown the zone from the longs here in the tournament. A couple different plays you can do, but kind of the most straightforward one is just punch a flat forehand, kind of right up the middle, get it to fade a little bit. How far is this hole? It's 223, so nothing crazy, like slightly downhill even. So just a nice little forehand, nice and clean. Kind of tricky though. You got left and right kind of coming into play, so gotta make sure you throw it right. Yeah. I think that's pretty close. I don't know if it's the wind or how I'm throwing it, but these do seem to get a little bit of flip up when you throw them like straight, kind of pushing straight on a little bit of hyzer. You can see that I had a little bit of hyzer. It is wobbling out of my hand a little bit. I don't know if that's the disc. My forehands kind of had been coming off not super clean lately, so it's probably just me. I'll try and get this one a little cleaner. That's better. Oh, well, at least I put the first one close, right off the top fence post. From the looks of it, this first one was gonna be completely parked and just got a total backwards kick off the fence. Don't actually know where the second one is, but I'll try to get a step putt that stays in the chains this time. Oh, it looks like this one came in a little bit right. Not sure if I'm on camera here, but you got like a putt being obstructed by this leaning tree. Oh, not happening. Okay, I think this will be our last hole here. 16 shorts, kind of like a little wide open shot. You just want to throw a hyzer at it, going either way. A little bit of a tight window you don't want to hit anything on the right or left, swinging it out too far, but I'm just going to give it a nice backhand spike into the green and then more of an inside forehand and try to put both close, and I'll give my sort of final verdicts on this disc. Go with backhand first. I'm gonna really challenge the right side a little bit and get it up nice and high. That's fine. It's a little bit left, and a little forehand. Gonna keep it inside, try to get the crash in right by the pin. That's probably gonna be a little closer than the backhand. It looks like I nearly ace ran both of these. Forehand a little closer, probably mostly to do with the wind, pushing the backhand a little bit further out. Little circle's edge tester here with the backhand. Basket's kind of leaning towards me though, so it should make the putt easier in theory. Of course. So there's the drop. Threw it on a bunch of holes. I like it. Up in the air whether or not it's going to replace the zone in my bag. I really want it to. In comparison to the Tactic, which we got to compare it to on a couple of holes, pretty much what the flight number suggests. Very similar flight, just the Tactic wants to dump out a little bit earlier. We'll see if my little experiment is true, if I can beat that up and have it be a good complement to this. The only thing that I don't love about it, and maybe this will change as it gets a little cooler outside, is it's a very tacky C-line plastic. It is a Color Glow C-line. So I grabbed an FD1 out of my bag just to kind of feel the difference. And this definitely is still that nice feeling plastic that you get, but I just know that this is gonna come out of my forehand a little cleaner. I feel like I was getting a little bit of wobble, even when I was getting a good release on the forehands, particularly when it was coming out flat, just because on the hyzer, it kind of comes up my fingers a little bit cleaner. But when I'm throwing it flat, it wants to grab onto my fingers a little bit and get a bit more wobble. So I was having a hard time keeping those flat lines, especially through gaps, really sitting on the line that I want them to. Okay, this is Tyler from like 20 minutes in the future. Just want to chime in real quick. I did throw these for like an extra 10, 15 minutes after filming the video, and I was able to get them to release on forehand with a lot less wobble, pretty much none. It was fully me just not throwing the disc that well. Once I got it figured out, I think the wobble is not too much of a factor, so just completely ignore that part. But other than that, it is fantastic. We'll kind of have to see, do I like the tackiness more or kind of the Z plastic that you get with the zone? I know Z FLX zones are kind of somewhere in the middle as well, but I'd love to see this in just a regular C-line and see if the plastic feels a little different, if that's better or not. But overall, good disc. I'd recommend checking it out. If you like sort of a tackier feel, especially on these approach sort of overstable discs, you'll definitely like this. Yeah. That's it. That's the drop. See you next time. Peace.